69 million. I think it probably means digital art is here to stay.
I'm going to Disney World.
Well, what is so different about his collage of 5,000 images and drawings made over 5,000 days is that it doesn't exist in physical form. It is only available digitally. Just as Bitcoin was the internet's answer to currency, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are now being called the digital version of a collectible. With traditional paintings like the Mona Lisa, exact copies can't be made. But for digital-only artwork, the rules are very different. A person can prove that they own the original artwork with their non-fungible token, but anybody can simply click and download a copy of the artwork for themselves. Well, Lady Pheonix is a leading digital art curator and a good friend of Beeple. She was in the online auction yesterday and she joins me now from San Francisco. Thank you very much for coming on the programme. Tell us what's so exciting for you and perhaps what should be exciting for us about digital art.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really honored to be here to talk about this very historic moment. You know, for me with digital art, what's so exciting is finally digital artists can prove provenance for their work, they can sell it, and they can begin a more sovereign path with their practice and also their personal economy. With NFTs, artists are given secondary royalties, or royalties on the secondary market, and that's never happened before in any time in art. So this is truly historic, not only for Beeple, but for the entire community of digital artists.
And why do you think that Beeple's work managed to, capture £50 million at an auction? What is it about that particular work?
Well, with that particular work, it isn't just the 13 years put into that body of work. It's also the community that comes along with that, right? And it's also the dedication. Beeple is, he's the people's champ, right? He's been doing it. He's been inspiring folks. And so you're also buying into the narrative as well as the community. It's not simply just a bunch of JPEGs compiled together. There really is true context here that people are buying into. And congrats to Metakoven on being the collector of this work. He has an incredible community, and we love, that it stayed within the digital community championing this work. So.
Okay, so there are lots of people on Instagram and lots of people record what they do every day digitally, but not everyone can be a digital artist, or can they?
I think that, anyone can be an artist, but not everyone has collectors. I think that's the difference. And community, specifically as it relates to the digital art community, is the premium, right? Beeple has built an incredible community for which he has inspired people. He's been a mentor to people, right? There's a gentleman called Don Allen who was hospitalized. He's an incredible artist. And one of his greatest goals coming out of the hospital was to make an artwork so good that people might confuse him for Beeple. He's now colleagues with Beeple. He's mates with Beeple. They're in touch, they're buddies. That's really incredible. So it's the man himself as well as the artwork. It's very different from the traditional world where there's a lot of kind of like competition built in and a little bit of like backbiting built in. Here in this community, it's more of high fives, encouraging each other. For folks in the digital community, it's other artists that are their first collectors, right? Like artists like Coldy is a great collector. Artists like Pheonix are great collectors, right? So it's much more than just the artwork itself. It's also the entire community that comes along with that and the narrative behind these everydays.
But when there's so much money at stake for some works, there might be a little bit of competition and backbiting, might there not?
Or might there not? Yeah, might there not? Sure, everybody wants to be Beeple now that he's made, a sale of $69 million. But at the same time, there's like, congratulations, I'm more inspired by your story now. I'm going to make sure that I dedicate, my practice to, this Beeple energy of true dedication and every day getting out there, trying my best and making it. He wasn't selling artwork for 13 years. He's just entered the space in the last 4 months, and all of those 13 years has come with him, It's like when you have a plumber at your house who fixes a leak that you've tried to fix for, 2 days, and the plumber comes and does it in 15 minutes, and you're wondering why you've paid $2,000 for this. It isn't the 15 minutes that you're paying for. It's the 15 years that the plumber learned, right, to do this, to come in and do it in 15 minutes. Beeple's been doing this every single day for the biggest stars in the world and been getting, contractor money. Now, as a designer and artist, he gets that for himself, and has a legacy now within his own practice. Yeah.
So he's a plumber with return business. Just finally, Lady Pheonix, tell me, what are the kind of horizons of digital art here?
Say that last part again.
But what are the horizons, very briefly, of digital art? What do you hope to achieve with it eventually?
Yeah, so what I think, like, one of my greatest kind of wishes is that people would see this not only as an opportunity for sovereignty for the artists, but maybe as an opportunity for big institutions as well, such as the British Museum, to get, to be a part of this. If they digitize all of the items that they've collected from all over the world over the years, and then sent the physicals back and kept the digitized version as NFTs for the museum, that would be an incredible statement on behalf of reconciliation and true peace within the creative community.